Hey guys, Thingfishy here with a video about the brand new Souls-like, Thymesia. Now, I'm making this video on launch day, having played about half of the game, because I can already see a potential problem. It's quite a strange time for the release of a new Souls-like. Usually when a game like this releases, the vast majority of its players are the same old grizzled Dark Souls veterans, taking a punt on a new title to see if it captures any of that From Software magic. But due to the astonishing success of a certain other game, igniting the Souls urge in many new players, Thymesia may have a much wider player base. And it's more than possible that many people will play this delightful love child of Bloodborne and Sekiro, without ever first playing Bloodborne or Sekiro. And for reasons I'll get into, those players might have a little bit of a rough time. So I'm making this video to talk about what's helping me in my first playthrough of Thymesia, in the hopes that it might help newer players appreciate it a little more, and get through the super tough skill check at the start of the game a little easier. Because Thymesia is awesome, it's such a fun game. So first off, let's talk about Deflections. Deflections are a core component of Thymesia's gameplay and the first thing that you'll want to get to grips with. If you've played Sekiro, you know the drill, but if you haven't, Deflections work very similarly to an Elden Ring parry, but without opening up your opponent to a riposte. They totally negate an enemy attack's damage whilst wounding them at the same time. Now, even as someone who's played Sekiro for years and has a YouTube channel almost entirely dedicated to parrying in Elden Ring, I found hitting Deflections in Thymesia really tough at first. The timing seems very precise, and I wouldn't be surprised if the window you get is much smaller than an Elden Ring parry. Happily, in Thymesia's talent tree, there are two skills that make this window way more forgiving. Stick your first two skill points in these two and you'll instantly get a deflection window that feels far more like Sekiro. For me, this was pretty transformative and I immediately started getting more consistent deflections. Now let's talk about the claw attack. When you fight enemies in Thymesia, you wound them, depleting their white health bar with R1 attacks. This reveals their health, shown as this green health bar, which is best depleted with claw attacks. Now when you start the game, you have one claw attack. It's slow, feels a little clunky, and has a recovery that invites hits from whatever you're fighting. To get around this, I'd highly recommend investing in the short claw talent as soon as you can. The short claw gives you R2 attacks that have the speed of your standard R1s. So this is so much better for punishing enemies and really allows you to keep the pressure on during fights. There is also a skill that allows you to recover health by hitting claw attacks. This was another game changer for me. So now let's talk about the first boss. No, not Varg from the tutorial, I'm talking about Odur. Odur is the first required boss in Thymesia, and what a first boss he is. I honestly don't think it's an exaggeration to say that he might be the toughest first boss I've fought in a Souls or a Souls-like game. Earlier today, Odur took me over 90 minutes to beat. In Elden Ring terms, I think the first boss that broke 90 minutes for me on my first playthrough was probably Morgoth. So yeah, Odur is pretty serious. But he's also a truly amazing boss. First because he has an awesome moveset that's incredibly fun to learn, but also because he is the boss that truly cements the Thymesia playstyle into your brain. Like Margit in Elden Ring, Genichiro in Sekiro, and Father Gascoigne in Bloodborne, you walk out of that arena a different player to the one who went in. You walk away from that fight being truly prepared for the rest of the game. And unlike his From Software counterparts, Odur actually feels like he may even be the peak of the difficulty curve. Certainly for the early and mid game. I haven't beaten all of the bosses in Thymesia yet, but no boss I've fought since has given me anything like as much trouble. So if you're banging your head against the Odur wall, as I've done today, don't be scared that you're falling at the first hurdle. See the fight instead as an extended tutorial on mastering Thymesia's incredible gameplay and being the entry point into a far more comfortable time with the rest of the game. I should probably end this video by telling you about my first impressions of Thymesia. I'm really enjoying my first playthrough and I'm particularly fond of the combat. It looks and feels fantastic, and while I'm still very much in the honeymoon stage with it, I think it might be my favourite Souls-like yet. And when a small studio releases its first game, and no one including me can talk about it mechanically or aesthetically without referencing two of the best games of all time, you know they have done a truly amazing job. If you'd like to see me make some more Thymesia content, just leave me a comment down below. As always, thanks for watching. See you soon.